New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment, inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring.
Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be, whenever you may be watching this. Welcome to the Peace Circle. I'm Gina Colvario Krupka, and I am a practitioner blessed to be in service on this network and our prayer team here, but also I am the spiritual director of CSL Greater Boston. And I am here tonight to talk about something that is near to dear and dear to all of our hearts. Yes, of course, peace. That is why we're here and coming into that place of alignment to be the change we wish to be in the world, which is, of course, why we're here at the Peace Circle. But tonight's topic, because we always pick a topic, is manifestation. So, in other words, where's my stuff? We are a teaching that, we are science of mind, and we say that there's a scientific demonstration for what it is that we teach. So how do we get there? Just like we want to demonstrate peace, how do I show up as that? See, this show began because I wanted that. I wanted more peace in my life, and I want world peace, but how do I create that? For most of my life, I had no idea what that word even meant. Of course, I wanted world peace. I didn't want people to fight each other. But I didn't know what the word meant within me, and I certainly did not understand that I was giving out a frequency that either made it more peaceful or less. I couldn't imagine what that even meant. So that's why the Peace Circle is here, so that we can be in that place as individualized expressions of divine that I can align with and be peaceful, therefore contribute more peace into the world. And we pick these topics on so that we are seeing the things as they are. So in other words, demonstration, for example, tonight's topic is, when we're in that place of manifestation, when we're seeing the stuff, we feel good. We are more peaceful when we are in even the anticipation of it, because we know it's already here. When we treat, when we pray, when we know and affirm, we can rest easy and be at peace. So there's so many layers to that, and how do we show up as that? And that's what we're going to talk about tonight. I always begin the Peace Circle with my poem, I Too Have a Dream. In my dream, too, we all are equal, and our color, religion, or income defines who we are. Neither country nor region defines us as kin. Whether 2 legs or 4, plant or animals, we were all created of the one Creator. with no greater claim to borrow this beautiful earth. In my dream, we all are one, treating each other with love and respect and living in peace. We are all truly awake, knowing our purpose to share love and joy and to uplift each other, and in doing so, uplift ourselves. In my dream, we each remember and appreciate each other and truly understand that all is well. Sometimes it doesn't seem that way. So that's what we're going to talk about. How do we get to that place of knowing all is well and being at peace when it doesn't seem that way? And how do we get to that space of that it is that way? So I want to say hello. Great to have you here, Karen. Thank you for being here with us. We are live, so I'd love whoever is here, let us know that you're here. Let us know any comments, anything that brings you peace, or any demonstrations that you've had lately that you want to share with the world. So for tonight's topic, I want to start with positive thoughts. Because, we wonder, well, how did things get to be the way they are? Well, Ernest Holmes says, for what we persist in recognizing, we persist in holding in place. So think about that. If we are persisting in seeing it and recognizing it, it must be so. So if I am caught up on there's not enough, there'll never be enough, I'll never get there, the answer is you're right. What you believe is what you're manifesting. We know thoughts become things. And Emmett Fox said with the golden key, which is absolutely amazing. And if you haven't taken a look at that, I encourage you to look at the golden key. But he said, you can have anything in life that you really want, but you must be prepared to take the responsibilities that go with it. God is ready the moment that you are. So that responsibility, if I go to the ocean with a cup, I cannot come back with a gallon. If I go to the ocean with a gallon container, I cannot come back with anything more than that. The ocean is vast and there is plenty, but what I bring to it, I bring from it. It's just how it works. So we get this opportunity to look at, well, what are my thoughts? And in Heart Space, the book by Louise Hay that I love, it's just a simple little one-pagers or talk, even a paragraph sometimes. And this one is on thoughts, and it says, I dwell on positive thoughts. Imagine that thoughts are like drops of water. When you think the same thought over and over again, you are creating this incredible body of water. First, you have a little puddle, then you may get a pond. And as you continue to think the same thoughts over and over and over again, you get a lake and finally an ocean. If your thoughts are negative, you can drown in the sea of your own negativity. If your thoughts are positive, you can float on the ocean of life. So where have your thoughts been? When you look at the state of the world, are you in the knowing that Spirit's got this? Are you in faith, or are you in fear? Are you in anger? Because, of course, our thoughts persist, as we read from Ernest Holmes. So how do we go from that place? It's keeping ourselves positive. It's keeping that thought positive. It all comes back to our faith. So we'll begin with the first song from Karen Drucker, I Have Faith. And I encourage you to just sit back and kind of review where have you been today, even? Where are your thoughts? What are you feeling? What have you been experiencing? Have you been choosing them consciously? And are they expressing your faith?
pray faith, I choose faith, I am faith, I have faith, I pray faith, I choose faith, I am faith, I have hope, I pray hope, I choose hope, I am hope, I have hope, I pray hope, I choose hope, I am hope. When I trust and I let go, I know all is well. I have love, I pray love, I choose love, I am love, I have love, I pray love, I choose love, I am love, you are love, we are love, all God's children are love, you are love, we are love, all God's children are love. When I trust and I let go, I know all is well. When I trust and I let go, I know all is well.
When I trust and I let go, I know all is well. And again, it doesn't always feel that way. I have a couple of people, two different dogs, children, because they really are our beloved pets. They're pure love. And I have had two this week that I've known people that they transitioned, and it's just devastating situations. And it doesn't feel like all is well in those moments. When we think of manifestation, we want good, always good. And life happens in divine timing and in divine ways. It doesn't mean that good isn't there for us. So it's not just dogs, but we have losses of all kinds. And sometimes one loss brings in some other good. And it's knowing that what is mine must come to me. My good is only meant for me and must come to me. And I am open to receiving it. And when we have a loss, any kind of grief, when it's new especially, we have a hard time sometimes looking at it from a place of where is there good here? But I've done a lot of work around that. And grief for me, now I get a choice. When I'm caught up in the pain of the fear of loss, of what I no longer have, I cannot appreciate the good that has come from it. When I realize that grief it's gratitude and love. That's really what it is. There was so much gratitude and love for whatever it is that I just wish it was there all the time. But it was good and amazing for as long as it was. And sometimes it's not my timing, but divine timing that chooses how long or what the other path is. How many times have we been in relationships or situations that, we stepped out of one, maybe even reluctantly, but something better was waiting. I know that's happened to me for jobs as well. You didn't get the job that you thought you wanted, but something even better showed up. When we pray affirmatively, we know this or better. And what we often talk about is mental equivalence. And in the Science of Mind textbook, which you can see mine has a ton of little tabs because it's amazing. So if you don't have it, haven't read it, again, it's The Science of Mind by Ernest Holmes. The chapter 17 is on mental equivalence. And he says, if we know and believe that mind is the only actor, cause, effect, substance, intelligence, truth, and power that there is. So in other words, there's only one. If we have a real embodiment, then we can demonstrate. So if we truly believe it, we don't just say it. It's not just a thought or when it's convenient, but we know oneness. That I am living, breathing, and having my being within the one light, love, as each one is. Then we have the ability to demonstrate. If we lack or feel lack, it says we should be sure to erase from our consciousness any sense of lack. We erase thought from consciousness by pouring in an opposite thought. So again, we erase thought from consciousness by pouring in an opposite thought. So in other words, if we pour in clean water long enough, it gets rid of all the gunk. Eventually it washes it out. So we can be in that place of pouring in that spiritual truth, and all the other stuff is washed away. Goes on to say we must maintain a consistent, positive, aggressive mental attitude in the truth. Now that's a word we don't hear often in this, but positive, aggressive mental attitude. So it's not just in the background. It is that I know, and I know that I know. So I know that I am peaceful, regardless of whether or not it's demonstrating in my life. There may be busyness, but I do not have to be in chaos. The truth of me is the stillness of peace. It's the truth of each one, regardless of what looks like on the surface. At the bottom of the deepest of oceans, there's stillness and peace. So when we go within, we always have the ability to go to that. Now it continues and it goes on to say, God cannot help making the gift because God is the gift. So we are not held back anything good. Spirit is that good. There is no holding back. And this whole chapter is amazing, and I'm not going to go into it. But he talks about Jesus and the demonstrations that it is done to us as we believe. And, there was a paralyzed man in the Bible that talks about, one of the parables is there was a paralyzed man that just literally, that he said, do you believe? And he got up and walked. And it was his faith. And there was another that just touched his garment, just touched Jesus's garment and was healed. That was how strong the faith of this one was, that they knew the truth, that this clear channel of divine, this Christ consciousness heals. When we know that, when we truly know that and embody it, anything is possible. Ernest Holmes goes on to say, we find that the essence of the power of prayer is faith and acceptance. It's not just faith, it's faith and acceptance. So I bring more than a cup to the ocean, and I take out what I need. So Take truckfuls, go swimming in it. You don't need to take anything from it. Jump on in, the water's fine. It's remembering that it's what I do. I can look at the ocean, or I can have plenty of water in the faucet, but if I don't grab a cup and I don't drink it, I'm still thirsty. That's the acceptance of it. Know that you're worthy of what it is you're calling forth. Be in that place of knowing, in that steady, acceptance of. It says, in addition to the law of faith and acceptance, the law of mental equivalent must be considered. These are the two great laws from which we have to deal and shall never get away from. So it's knowing, what is it that I choose? The mental equivalent of it. Knowing that it exists, seeing it, knowing it, being in it, and not stuck by the distractions. It's so important that we remember that. That, spirit knows and is, it has it. It's already there. Emmett Fox says there's a place for analysis, but it is apt to be quite fatal in prayer and meditation. Do not dissect the love of God, but feel it. Do not dissect divine intelligence, but realize it. Do not wonder how God can possibly solve this problem, but just watch him do it in his own way. And he will, if you will give him a chance. You know that God is love, so go ahead on that. And do not get theoretical about it. So get our bloated nothingness, as Emerson said, out of the way. And just be in that faith of knowing, and knowing that I know. And when we do that, amazing things happen. Emmett Fox says, it makes no difference how deeply seated my trouble may be, how hopeless the outlook, how muddled the tangle, how great the mistake. A sufficient realization of love will dissolve it all. If only you could love enough, you would be the happiest and most powerful being in the world. So coming from that place of love, your power may manifest. It's knowing that we know and living in that experience. Now, that looks different to everyone. That absolutely may, sometimes it takes baby steps to get there. Some people, children, when they cry, they know, babies know that, you're going to bring them food. They cry when they need something and they expect to receive, and they do. When we truly know and know that we know, amazing things happen. So we're going to play, the next song is One Power. And I want us to really be in that place of knowing that power. Knowing that the power that created the oceans and the sun, the moon, the stars, is that power that resides within, is that vast ocean waiting to make manifest. And we don't have to know the how, and we have to trust in the timing. But it's knowing that when we are in that love, anything, everything is possible. So here's Daniel Nahmod, One Power.
One power, one power, one power, one power, one power, one power. There's one power invisible, and you see it everywhere and every day. One power indescribable, and you speak of it with every word you say. mysterious until you know the truth. As simple as the love inside of you. Call it God, call it Spirit, call it Jesus, call it Lord, call it Buddha, Baha'u'llah, angels' wings or heaven's door. But whatever name you give it, it's all one power, can't you see? It's the power of the love in you and me. One power, one power, one power, one power. We speak so many languages, different clothing, different colors, different names. The different is only dangerous when we forget that in the heart we're all the same. And we'll remember once we close our eyes to see that such distances were never meant to be. Call it God, call it Spirit, call it Jesus, call it Lord, call it Buddha, Baha'u'llah, Hashem or heaven's door. It's Muhammad, it's your mind, it's your soul, or it's your sign. It's the universe, it's music, Mother Earth or Father Time. But whatever name you give it, it's all one power, can't you see? Whatever name you give it, it's the very air we breathe. Oh, it's the power of the love in you and me. One power, oh, one power is what we are. One power, one power. It's the freedom of forgiveness. It's the sweetness of release. It's the joy of inspiration. It's the sunshine on your face. It's the birthright of all nations. It's the boundlessness of space. It's the beauty of a baby, the serenity of sleep. It's the anger we abandon, for it's love that's most deep. It's one power. It's one power. What we are is one power. It's the power of the love that lives forever in you and me. It's the power of the love in you and me.
So Daniel Nahmod tells us that there's one power, one presence, one knowing. That's what we're talking about when we speak of, whether you call it God, the universe, energy, whatever it is you call that divine creator. Something rose the sun this morning and something will set it this evening. It's not me. And regardless of whether you have strong faith, you have no faith, you're listening to this type of stuff for the first time, wondering, why should I believe you? you know something did it, and you know enough and have faith and belief enough to know that it's going to do it again tomorrow. We go to bed expecting the sun to come up again. We don't question it. We don't wonder about it. We know because it's a principle. The creator, the universe, it's a principle. It doesn't have a personality. It's a principle. Laws work the same for everyone. They always say the rain falls on the just and the unjust. It works the same way. So it's how you use it. You know, one of the things I was raised with, one of the beliefs, false beliefs that I was raised with, is the rich get rich and the poor get poorer. The rich get richer and the poor. And if you believe that, it has to manifest. If you keep doing the same thing, you keep thinking the same thing, you'll keep getting the same results. That's technically the definition of insanity. So it's about doing something different and understanding that spirit is for us. Spirit is for expansion, which is why we were created, to live as an individualized expression. And we are given free will to do that. We can think what we choose. We can, we can create it. But at the same time, we may have created, how many times in our lives have we gotten into a jackpot? And we're like, okay, I don't know how I got here, but get me out of it. The beauty is what thought has done, thought can undo. So just as it was my thinking and my actions and my stuff that got me wherever I was, it also has the power to change. Our bodies are self-healing. When we leave them alone, we just expect it, it happens. And when we don't, when we're in that place of fear, it grows. It grows. Just like everything else. When we're focused on it, it grows. So are we living consciously? Now, much of my life I didn't, and I didn't know that I wasn't. So, part of being at peace is being aware of how I even feel. I didn't know how to do that. I didn't know how to just sit still and be. I was a human doing, not a human being for most of my life. So I wasn't creating consciously most of the time. I have a poem that I want to share. It's called Draw a Picture. And this is one of mine as well. It says, I was raised to be a good girl, to take care of others and shown how to act. As a small child, I was taught to do this, but definitely not that. I drew pictures of my world, sometimes blue skies, others gray. I drew to show you what I could see, what it was like to be me. As I grew older, my views changed. People were cruel. The world seemed to have changed. People stopped asking my point of view. I lived, I did, with my choices, showing them who I became. I realize now I've drawn my life. My relationships are how I saw people. My career from all I had done. I painted without conscious thought. I created my life from what I was taught. Finally, I recognized my power to create, all limits self-inflicted, in a picture to demonstrate. So today I decide what I watch, think, and do. I finally realized that whatever I focus upon will inevitably become my view. So I encourage you to think about that and say, okay, what am I paying attention to? If I'm in a place of, seeming need or lack, am I focused on that? Where is my mind? And, it's not always easy. And I'm not saying that it is, but the law itself is perfect. Ernest Holmes says the law is infinite and perfect, but in order to make the demonstration, we must have a mental equivalent of the thing we desire. It seems easy enough, But it's not just that image, it's a feeling. So if I know, well, I'd like this type of car, but I'm experiencing a vehicle that's breaking down or having problems or whatever it may be. And thankfully I am not. I am grateful to be in a for me, believe it or not, the car I'm driving was the one that I put on my first vision board. And I didn't even realize it until I ended up with it. So what is your mental equivalent? If you're in lack and fear, it can't be delivered to you. See, how I got this particular car, I had a I had a Kia Soul, which actually was also on a vision board, and it after just paying it off, and it was the first new car I ever owned. I just paid it off, and within 6 months, the engine cracked, and I was devastated. I'm not going to lie to you; I was so upset. It was probably worth $6,000 one day, and then it was worth nothing. So it was devastating to me. How could this happen? Because I had done everything the right way with the dealership, and I had gone through everything I was supposed to, all the maintenance, and I was really upset. It was a week and a half before Christmas, and I was not in the financial place to be going to find another car. I didn't have a deposit to give them. I didn't have, and I'm like, what do I do? And I panicked. And within a couple of days, I went from that to realizing that Spirit's got me. Spirit's got this. This or better. Like, it's got to be better. Whatever it is, I went back to the dealership and said, look, I did everything right. And while I certainly did not want a car payment, I ended up with a brand new car. And I ended up with the make and model that was on my first vision board before I got the Kia Soul. It was actually the Sportage, which was the next model up. I didn't realize it. It just so happened that there were many more. They had tons of those in the lot, and it was even the color that I had put on my vision board. It wasn't until I had it home and was driving it a week later that I realized I manifested this. When I released and allowed Spirit, I ended up with something so much better than what I had. So ended up also that I would have needed that. My mom went through a lot, and I went back and forth state to state for her and to be able to do what I needed to. And I couldn't have done it with that old vehicle, and Spirit knew it. So exactly when it was needed, it showed up. But it showed up as loss before it showed up as gain. I had to make the way clear. I had to trust and be in that. It's not always easy to do. Ernest Holmes says if a prayer has been answered, it is not because God is moved to answer one person's prayer more than another, but because one person more than the other has moved themselves into a right relationship with Spirit. So when I was in a place of anger, frustration, how could this be? I couldn't have received better. That clarity of thought of go back to where you got the last one. I couldn't imagine, a way being made. I didn't know what it could look like, but it was better than I had. And within a couple of days, here I was realizing that really what Spirit wanted from me was an upgrade, and the way was made. So it's getting myself out of the way sometimes and being in that faith no matter what, no matter how frustrating or devastating it may seem at times. It's understanding that there is a bigger picture. And when I allow it, when I rest into it, amazing things happen. And, that's the song we're going to play next is Amazing Things, Michael Gott. So I encourage you as you listen to this song, we choose peace. Yes, absolutely. What does that look like? What do you need in your life to be more peaceful? To let go of the worry, the frustration, the resentment, even if it's a political thing. Do you see a political post and get angst? And I'm not going to lie, sometimes I do. I still have to breathe into spirit is the truth. I don't have to be reactive to everything that I see. I can react in love. So when we say we are creating amazing things, we must have the mental equivalent of what it is we choose. I choose harmony. I choose love and tolerance and acceptance. I choose a highest order of things. But what does that look like? I'm not saying, of course, I don't want that. Okay, well, that's a starting point, but it's going to keep you stuck. Anger, resentment, frustration, and never the right direction. So what do I choose instead? How do I go to that place of gratitude and love? How do I be that change? Allowing spirit to direct me and being open to that intuition to know what is that next step. So really be, as you listen to this, that we are creating amazing things. What is that in your life? What are you choosing that mental equivalent to be?
Amazing, amazing, you will do amazing things. Amazing, amazing, you will do amazing things. You will do amazing things with the choice each new day brings, and with every step you take. Bless the progress that you make. The reason you live is there in every gift you give. Love your life, love your dreams. You will do amazing things. Amazing, amazing, you will do amazing things. Amazing, amazing, you will do amazing things. Oh, the places you will go, and the people you will know. Don't worry when, where, or how. You don't need to know that now. You're on the right track. No need to look ahead or back. Just enjoy what this day brings, and you will do amazing things. You don't have to work it out. Just stay in the here and now. Let your mind rest for a little while. Sometimes deepest answers come when you're out there having fun. So close your eyes, take a breath, and smile. Amazing, amazing, you will do amazing things. Amazing, amazing, look at somebody for a second and sing, amazing. Look at somebody else. Amazing. You will do amazing things. Oh, I know you will. Amazing. Yes, amazing. You will do amazing things. Can you feel that? Such beautiful energy we've created right here. Now what I want us to do is imagine that we filled this room and we're going to send it out into the world. This knowing, this positive, beautiful spiritual energy. Let's sing, we will do amazing things. Amazing. Amazing. We will do amazing things. Oh, amazing. Yes. Amazing. We will do amazing things. Yes. I know we will. Amazing. Amazing. We will do amazing things. We will heal the world today. Amazing. Amazing. We will do amazing things. And now what I'd like you to do with the deepest conviction and sincerity, place your hand over your own heart and tell yourself the truth. I will do amazing things. Amazing. Amazing. I will do amazing things. Amazing. Amazing. I will do amazing things. You will do amazing things.
So much power in that. You will do amazing things. Our life is a result of our thoughts. And our thoughts, our thinking is a result of everything that we've ever said, done, what we were taught, what we were, what we watch, what we do. All of this is part of our thought atmosphere. So we get to control it. And when we talk about mental equivalence, or, the golden key says, go back and think of spirit. Don't think about what I don't want. Think about what I choose. Think of spirit instead, that infinite possibility. Continue to pour that clear, clean, crisp consciousness. Know and know that you know. It's not about what we see, it's what we know. Thing is always happening, Bamboo takes years to even sprout. It could be 9 to 11 years to even show a sprout. And then it could be 20 feet tall the next day. Spirit is working miracles. Lifelong false beliefs can be plucked out through a prayer. That's why we go to, why we have treatment. That's why we go to practitioners, or, we are here knowing this truth. It's as easy as we think it can be. Our mental equivalent, well, if it's a button, then it's easy. But if it's $1 million, that's hard. What we tell ourselves is what we're creating. And we can consciously choose different. We create a new habit, a new way of thinking. a wonderful tool for that is affirmations. You know, in the end of that video, and one of the reasons I chose it at the end, he has us put our hand over our hearts and say, I will do amazing things. It's not you, it's not just somebody else, it's not an abstract, it's knowing that I have that within me. Spirit, that source, that energy, that allness, that light that is shining so brightly on me now, that allness is radiating from within when we allow it. So it's knowing that. And affirmations are a wonderful tool. And mirror work with Louise Hay, if you've never heard of it, take a look at her. One of my favorite books is You Can Heal Your Life. It's taking responsibility and realizing that I get a choice. And the final reading that I'm going to share for this evening is actually from Creative Ideas by Ernest Holmes. And it's, I am free of all limitation. It says, divine intelligence produces everything, nourishes everything, and maintains everything. It spreads itself over everything. It flows through everything and is in all things. Indeed, being all that is, there can be nothing outside of it. So in such a degree that we understand God, we become liberated. We need to recognize the divine in everything to see it everywhere. There's a mystical presence which pervades the universe. It is always welling up in our consciousness, ever more proclaiming itself as the source of all. The Bible says that there is one God and Father of all, who is above all, through all, and in you all. And he goes on to say, I know that that which I am is God in me as me. In this knowledge, I know that my spirit is free of all limitations. I know that my mind knows this truth about myself. My thoughts now affirm my divine source. My thoughts are free of ideas of limitation, and they cease hindering the outflow of the indwelling presence. So they cease hindering. And it says, as I now know and declare the truth of my real nature, there becomes manifest in my thinking and experience the perfection and wholeness of God, which rightfully belongs to me. I am free with the freedom of God, and all things in my life are good. I declare that freedom. What is freedom? Think about that. Free from limitations means that there's more than enough. That financially, that there's no worries whatsoever. That physically, I know that the health and the wellness and the well-being springs up from within. That the source within me is the answer to any seeming questions. Freedom of thought, of emotion. Freedom from any seeming limitation. Because limits are self-imposed. So as we go into our week, as the change we wish to see in the world, see peace. Look for places where people are coming together. Look at not the seeming problems, but who's there. You know, Ukraine and the war that went on and all that's gone on and has continued to, it can be devastating to see it. And you look at how inhumane it seems. As bad as it may seem, the millions of humanitarian aids that have gone on as a result of that are beautiful blessings. You know, we see on the news, there's awful things, and it may be one or two people doing these awful things, but there's millions of people responding. Look at the love. Choose to focus on that outpouring and that response. Be the answer be the answer. Choose that mental equivalent. It doesn't mean that we're not in the world and paying attention, but we're paying attention to the bigger picture. And we are that push of peace as peace. We are peaceful agents of change in the world, knowing what is mine to do. If I am not peaceful, I cannot create anything but more chaos. If I am not peaceful, I'm not manifesting anything of hope. If I am not joyful, I am not sharing that joy with the world. See, anything that spirit is, it's my birthright. It's who and what I am. I'm not some of it, I'm all of it. But how much I recognize of it is what I demonstrate. So I am so grateful that you've been here with me this evening. Absolutely, Zoe. Yes, we choose. And thank you, Bonnie, for being here. Our doula of grief, you are a gift, and love to you. Thank you for being here. And Karen, thank you for being here. And so grateful to be in this knowing, in this teaching, in this truth, and manifesting consciously with each of you. So wherever you are watching, or whenever you're watching, I know that you are peaceful and you are that change agent. I know that you are doing amazing things, and I am so grateful for you. So know that here at this network, we are also doing amazing things. And you can reach out to us. Go to ntmedia.org. If you haven't been there lately, you haven't been there, because there's so much good. They've updated everything, and all of the shows have the back episodes. You can take a look at, each host and find out a little bit about them. It's wonderful. So if you can, go to ntmedia.org. And if you've been blessed by this show or any of the shows, we put good news out there in the world. Please, whether it's a one-time donation or a regular donation, a monthly one, thank you. Whatever it is, thank you. It helps push that consciousness in a positive way. And I would love to hear from you, whether it's a topic, whatever word or topic you'd like to see on the Peace Circle, or if it's something that you want to see on Finding the Joy in the Journey, whatever it may be, because that's on Thursdays. Whatever it may be, reach out to me. I'd love to hear from you. So I wish you a fabulous week. I am knowing your peace, your love, your joy, and your ease of amazing manifestation. And I celebrate you. So grateful to have you here with me, knowing that there is only love and that you are that love. Namaste.